before we get into this, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories and moments like this. The party was alive and buzzing. One of those high Manhattan events where refined smiles, soft laughter, and the clink of crystal glasses concealed an undercurrent of quiet tension. I had arrived expecting nothing more than a relaxed evening beside my wife, Megan. But the second we walked in, something felt off. She looked stunning in a fitted red dress, her hair flawlessly styled and glowing beneath the chandelier's soft light. Yet as we blended into her social circle, it became obvious I wasn't her equal there. I had become her punchline. Her laughter carried an edge, almost sharp, and when she lifted her glass toward a group of men, she glanced at me with a sly grin and announced, loud enough for all to hear, "Here's to real men, not my husband." The remark cut deep, sharper than anything I'd endured in a long time. Megan hadn't just made a private dig. She had reduced me in front of friends, co-workers, and complete strangers. My chest tightened with a mix of humiliation, disbelief, and anger. The surrounding crowd chuckled uneasily, some stealing awkward looks in my direction, unsure how to respond. Megan only beamed wider, convinced she delivered a harmless joke. What she failed to realize was that strength doesn't respond with chaos or shame. A real man stays measured, evaluates the moment, and chooses his response with purpose and control. Within me, a steady fire sparked, calm, focused, unshakable. I held back my reaction and watched her instead. I studied her posture, the confident tilt of her chin, the way she leaned toward her audience, her eyes sparkling with mischief. She wanted to make me feel small. But in that moment, something became clear. She had gravely underestimated my self-respect and my restraint. I remained composed, offering the group a polite smile, letting her words linger in the air. My silence shifted the room's energy. She had expected awkward laughter, desperation, maybe even pleading. None of that came. As the night went on, her subtle digs continued. Pointed remarks, sarcastic nudges, whisper comparisons aimed at highlighting my so-called lack of masculinity. "He's sweet, but not like Jeff. Now that's a real man," she muttered near her friends, assuming I wouldn't catch it. I heard every word and allowed her to keep talking, letting her believe she held control. All the while, she was only reinforcing how misguided she truly was. I knew I had a choice: sink into her game or demonstrate, to her and everyone present, what true composure looks like. I chose the second path. When Megan stepped away to fetch another drink, I turned calmly toward her circle and spoke evenly. A real man isn't defined by boasting or seeking approval. He carries himself with grace, honors those around him, and doesn't engage in petty ridicule. Real confidence isn't noisy. It's steady, grounded, and impossible to shake. The room fell quiet. Eyes widened. Some nodded, almost imperceptibly. And when Megan returned, she caught the last of my words, her playful grin dissolving as she realized the narrative had shifted, and not in her favor. I never raised my voice, never insulted her. I simply rose above it all. With quiet politeness, I excused myself, saying I needed some air, and made my way out to the packed room, leaving behind stunned murmurs. The impact was instant. Without drama or spectacle, attention redirected. Her earlier remark now appeared shallow, even cruel. Those who had laughed before now exchanged knowing looks, recognizing where real strength had just been displayed, subtle, controlled, and ego-free. Outside, the cool night wrapped around me like freedom. The sounds of the party drifted faintly through the glass doors, distant and insignificant. Moments later, Megan hurried out, her heels tapping sharply against the pavement, her face flushed, not with excitement, but with embarrassment and panic. "Noah, wait," she called softly, her voice unsteady. "Please, it was just a joke." I didn't respond right away. I let her apology linger, weighing it carefully. Respect isn't restored in haste. A man doesn't rush to repair something broken by disregard. He allows the reality of actions to fully settle. When I finally met her gaze, my voice remained calm. A joke that comes at someone's expense isn't harmless. It exposes what you prioritize. You showed me that appearances and validation matter more to you than respect for your own husband. Her expression faltered. "I didn't mean it like that," she whispered, shaken. But intention no longer changed the impact. I wasn't looking for an immediate apology. I wanted her to truly understand what she'd done. Sometimes the deepest lessons aren't spoken. They are felt, and in that moment, she felt every ounce of it. The drive home passed in silence, yet it spoke volumes. A quiet peace settled over me. I knew I had handled myself with dignity, control, and strength, the hallmarks of someone who refuses to be diminished. Megan sat beside me, subdued, her hands nervously twisting around her clutch, her head slightly lowered. The message had landed. Mockery, no matter how playful it seems, carries consequences. Respect is never optional, and affection without recognition is hollow. When we finally arrived home, Megan broke the silence, her tone soft and sincere. "I see it now," she admitted, tears brimming in her eyes. "I crossed a line, Noah. I shouldn't have done that. I do respect you." I didn't need her affirmation. The night had already proven everything. But her words mattered because they reflected awareness, not fear. That evening reshaped our marriage, not through anger or humiliation, but through understanding. She finally grasped that true strength and respect cannot be mocked or dismissed. And as I watched her absorb that truth, a quiet sense of fulfillment settled within me. Not driven by revenge, but by integrity, patience, and the silent power of a real man.